Right now, somewhere in the ocean, a great white shark is hunting. 20 feet of pure muscle, 3,000 pounds, teeth like serrated daggers. This is what we consider the apex predator of the modern sea, the thing that makes us afraid to swim too far from shore. But here's the truth. The great white is a golden retriever compared to what used to live down there. Because we live in the safest version of the ocean that has ever existed. The ancient ocean wasn't just dangerous. It was a war zone, a meat grinder, a place where the things we call monsters today would have been prey. And today, we're going back. Not down into the abyss, but back through time. 500 million years into the past, descending through geological eras like depth zones, watching as the ocean transforms from familiar to nightmare to something that shouldn't exist outside of science fiction. This isn't a nature documentary. This is a descent into deep time. And the further back we go, the worse it gets. So take a breath. We're going under. Our first stop is 40 million years ago, the Eocene epoch. We've just descended past the line where whales still had legs. The water here is warm, bathtub warm, and the continents are still drifting into positions we'd almost recognize. This is the uncanny valley of prehistory. Everything looks almost right, but something is fundamentally wrong. And that something is Basilosaurus. At first glance, it looks like a whale, but watch it move. Whales today swim with vertical tail flukes, undulating up and down like dolphins. Basilosaurus moves side to side like a snake, like an eel. 60 feet of serpentine nightmare, rippling through the water with a movement that shouldn't belong to a mammal. Its skull is elongated, almost crocodilian, filled with teeth that aren't meant for filter feeding or catching fish. They're meant for sawing, for ripping, for killing things its own size. Because Basilosaurus didn't hunt fish, it hunted other whales. Imagine that. You're a primitive whale, maybe 20 feet long, swimming through the Eocene Sea. You've evolved from a land mammal. You've conquered this alien environment. You're at the top of the food chain. And then you feel it. That side-winding movement in the peripheral darkness, the pressure wave of something massive. By the time you turn, it's already too late. Basilosaurus doesn't just kill you. It drags you down, uses those saw blade teeth to section you like a butcher, and leaves the pieces floating in the water column. This is the era where whales ate whales, where the mammals that returned to the sea brought something with them that fish never had. Malice, strategy, the capacity to hunt with something resembling thought. The ocean here is violent, but it's still familiar. Still mammalian, still something we can almost understand. But if we keep descending, if we travel back another 50 million years, the water starts to change. Welcome to the Cretaceous period, 90 million years ago, the age of dinosaurs, but forget land, that's a sideshow. The real horror is down here. Because while T-Rex was stomping around prehistoric forests, the ocean had become something else entirely. Scientists call this era Hell's Aquarium, and that name isn't metaphorical. The water is thick with blood, always. The visibility is measured in feet, not yards. And everywhere you look, something is eating something else. Meet Xiphactinus, 17 feet of pure rage wrapped in scales. Jaws that unhinged like a snake's. This thing didn't chew its food. It swallowed prey whole. We know this because we've found Xiphactinus fossils with entire 6-foot fish still lodged in their rib cages. Fish so large, they killed the predator from the inside. Too big to digest, creating a toxic jam that poisoned both creatures. That's the level of violence we're talking about. Predators so aggressive, they'd rather die than not swallow something whole. But Xiphactinus wasn't even the apex predator here. That title belongs to something else, something that makes the great white shark look like bait. Mosasaurus. 50 feet long, 8 tons, a skull built like a battering ram filled with rows of recurved teeth, teeth that pointed backward so that once something went in, it never came out. This is the Cretaceous boss fight, the final predator. Mosasaurus didn't just dominate the ocean, it patrolled it. It ate giant turtles, crushing their shells like potato chips. It ate plesiosaurs, those long-necked marine reptiles, biting them in half with a bite force that measured over 11,000 pounds per square inch. For context, a great white's bite is about 4,000 psi. Mosasaurus could bite 3 times harder than a great white. And it was fast. Recent studies suggest it could swim in bursts of 30 miles per hour, ambushing prey from below, rising from the dark with jaws already open. If you were in the Cretaceous ocean, you wouldn't see it coming. You just feel the impact, the pressure, the sudden realization that you weren't at the top of the food chain. You never were. The Cretaceous ocean operated on a simple rule: eat or be eaten. There was no middle ground, no safe zones, no reef systems where smaller creatures could hide. Just open water and endless violence. But we're not done descending. Travel back another 50 million years, the Jurassic period, 160 million years ago. The water here is colder, darker. The pressure feels different. Not physical pressure, but evolutionary pressure. Because this is the era when the ocean perfected the predator. Say hello to Plesiosaurus funky, known in the paleontology community as
Welcome to the Devonian period, 360 million years ago. The ocean here doesn't look like ocean. It looks like an industrial nightmare, a factory floor. Everything is covered in plates, in armor, in spikes. Because this is the era when prey got serious about not dying, and predators got creative about killing anyway. And at the top of that food chain, wearing a face that could cut steel, is Dunkleosteus. 30 feet long, 4 tons of armored rage. No teeth, because it didn't need teeth. Instead, it had bony plates in its jaw that sharpened themselves with every bite, creating guillotine edges that never dulled. Self-sharpening bone knives built into its skull. But here's the nightmare fuel. Dunkleosteus didn't just bite, it created a vacuum. When it opened its mouth, it did so in 1/50th of a second, faster than you can blink, creating a suction force so powerful it would pull prey into its mouth from several feet away. You wouldn't even need to be close. You'd just be swimming, minding your own business, and suddenly you'd feel the pull, the drag, the sensation of being yanked forward by invisible hands. And by the time you realized what was happening, you'd already be inside. And those guillotine plates would slam shut with a bite force of 8,000 psi, shearing through armor plating like scissors through paper. We've found Dunkleosteus fossils with vomit trails nearby, half-digested chunks of other armored fish thrown up because the predator ate too much too fast. This thing was so efficient at killing, it would gorge itself sick. The Devonian Ocean was loud, not with vocalizations, but with the sound of armor cracking, plates grinding, the industrial clang of evolutionary warfare. This wasn't nature. This was an arms race made flesh. But even Dunkleosteus, even this armored guillotine monster, makes biological sense. It's still a fish, still something we can categorize, still something that fits, however loosely, into our understanding of how predators work. That ends now, because our final descent takes us back another 100 million years, past the line where backbones were invented, past the point where eyes had lenses, into an ocean so alien that the creatures here don't look like they evolved on Earth. Welcome to the Cambrian period, 520 million years ago.